This is Gene Lance on the Workers Beat Extra. I want to talk about what is happening, what is going to happen, and what we should be doing about it. Starting off with just who are they and who are we? Who are the good guys, or the good persons, I should say? The good persons are on the solidarity side. The bad guys are on the elitist side. On the solidarity side, we try to unify with each other and we try to help one another out. The elitist side promotes disunity in favor of the elite. So they're the bad guys, we're the good persons. Who is winning in the struggle between good and evil? We are. We won the 2020 presidential race, for example, and we saved democracy when it was severely under threat. So, we're winning. The other side has always been secretive. We always call them the dark forces, or the dark money, for example. And they may seem more frightening nowadays, but that's only because they're more visible. And they're more visible because they're more desperate. And they're more desperate because they're losing. We won the 2020 election. Their side went into a snarling, desperate, and very visible state of denial. Last week, this is something that happened. Facebook and other social media have decided to continue boycotting Donald J. Trump, so that he will not be able to use their platforms to spread lies and promote violence as he has been doing. That's why they're keeping him off. Disdainfully, a few months ago, Trump decided, to heck with those guys, I will start my own platform and it will be so great, it'll be the greatest thing that ever happened, and it will just swamp those other platforms like Facebook and Twitter. Last week, the Trump forces shut it down. The reason they shut down the Trump platform was because nobody was using it, or not enough people were using it. They are losing voters. The Republicans are losing voters. It would be hard to deny that they are losing voters, even though it's really hard to assess how many they're losing. I don't think they're even trying to get more voters. I think that their base is shrinking. I think they know it, and I think it's not part of their program to get more voters. Now, in the long run, people are getting smarter. People are more capable than they used to be, and technology has accelerated the process so that people know a lot more than they used to know, especially young people. Those who rely on lies and denial and superstition can only look forward to diminishing support in the long run. That's what's going on. That's why the good persons are winning. Now, what will happen in the near future? Everybody's talking about the midterm elections, and they're saying that first-time presidents nearly always lose in the first midterms that they have to face, and the midterm elections of 2022 are particularly important, because if the Republicans take charge in 2022, then they will still be in charge of the Congress in the 2024 presidential election, and it has been proven already that they would vote to not certify the election if they don't win it. That's what they did with the 2020 election. So you could be certain that if they are in charge of the Congress in 2024 election, they will not certify any victory for anybody else. So people are saying this is a really desperate situation. However, I'm talking about what's going to actually happen. And in my opinion, the Democrats are not going to lose in 2022. They're going to win. Unless something unusual happens. For example, if they have a big ideological split, which is possible, I suppose, or some kind of economic catastrophe, and that's also possible. But neither a catastrophe nor a split is presently being predicted. So, in my opinion, in the midterm elections next year, the diminishing base of the Republicans will hurt them. They won't be able to win in 2022. As an electoral machine, the Republican Party will only go into further disarray. That doesn't mean they're not dangerous. Hitler's party, the Nazis, they weren't large. In fact, people laughed at them all the way through the 1920s. The problem was that they were just at the peak of their power in 1929, when the World Depression hit. And because of that depression, they were able to win the 1931 elections by a small plurality, not a majority, but a plurality. And then then they enjoyed the further support of the very wealthy people of Germany, who turned to the Nazis because they were afraid of everybody else. They were afraid of the working people. So they turned to the Nazis, and from then on, you could see what was going to happen. They were obviously going to go to war because it was the only way to get out of the depression that was going on during that time. Or it was the only way for them to get out of the depression. When the United States suffers its next economic calamity, the Republican Party, as presently constituted, can be expected to try to bring fascism to America, just as Hitler did in Germany. This you can consider a certainty. The big difference is that they won't succeed in America. The good persons are getting better informed and better organized. So what should we do? We weaken the fascist threat when we accelerate the informing, organizing, and activation of working families. Working and retired activists have already started. I want to say some specific things about the retiree movement, of which I am a part. The Texas Alliance for Retired Americans was begun in 2006, and it has had a string of successes in informing, organizing, and activating Texas seniors. There's no reason to shrink from future challenges just because they seem more visible and more threatening. We have been winning against these dark forces. We will continue to win. In fact, we may be able to do even more. I think that the Alliance would benefit from a statewide approach to organizing. Instead of organizing in the major cities, which is what we've been doing up till now, we should organize statewide. Everyone that we can reach needs to find a way to participate with us. Everyone that we can reach needs to find a way to support the Texas Alliance, and every person should be encouraged to be an organizer. I'm not just talking about retirees now, because everybody wants to be a retiree. Everybody wants to live a long time and have a nice retirement. So it concerns everybody to strengthen the Alliance for Retired Americans. As much as possible, the Texas Alliance should partner with others, especially labor organizations, with others who agree with us on specific issues. We should not subordinate our members to other organizations, but we should help form single-purpose coalitions whenever we can. In the electoral arena, the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans should lose no opportunity to advance the power of the state's seniors. To the extent that we can do it, we need to target electoral races and endorse candidates. This November, for example, Austin's going to have its local elections, and we have a chapter in Austin. They'll probably be endorsing candidates, and the whole state could be helping them with phone banking and other work to make sure that they are successful in getting the very best candidates elected in Austin. January 2022 will be a really critical time for the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans, because here in Texas, one can sign up to vote by mail in January and then vote by mail in every election throughout that year, including runoffs and special elections or whatever they have. We can always vote by mail if we get registered, if we get a successful application to vote by mail. And we can do that on January 1st. Beyond the elections, the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans needs to continue to be visible and have a high profile on all issues affecting Texas retirees. So that is all the issues that we possibly can muster up the resources to help with. We should not hesitate to take stands and conduct visible campaigns, organizing the whole state of Texas, all the retirees. Don't think that retirees aren't important, because they are the best voters in the electoral process, and they have a lot of credibility. When older people speak, younger people listen. Whether we really know anything or not, I'm not saying, but younger people think we do. So it's very important what retirees do. That's what I think is the situation, and what I think is going to happen, what I think we should be doing about it. This is Gene Lance on the Workers Beat Extra.